Welcome to the Mastery Testing module. So there's two types of testing that occur within the folder process. The first is called practice testing and the second is mastery testing. Practice testing you've already seen a demonstration of in one of the earlier modules. This is the folder sessions that occur 3 to approximately 5 times a week with a tutor who is usually a parent. The second type of testing is usually conducted by the classroom teacher. This occurs only once per week or fortnight, or it could be staggered across that period of time with a few students per day. Here you can see a folder that has some flashcards that have been waiting for the mastery test in the test pocket. Depending on how frequently the mastery test occurs, they may have been sitting there from 1 to 14 days, just resting and waiting for the mastery test. So the mastery test is concerned with these two pockets. The teacher will test the student on the content. If it's correct, it will move forward. If it's not correct, it will go back to the store. And the reason for this is that we don't want to interfere with the learning load, which is already established in the green active pockets. So that one is correct, and that's correct, and that's not correct. Just one point I would make here is that if the content is not largely correct in the test pocket, then I would be just double checking with the tutors that they are following the correct process, because if the flashcards have made their way to the test pocket, usually they are correct by that stage. The other thing you can do at this time is you can modify the learning load. You can take a couple of flashcards out and put them back in the store, or you can add a couple in at a time and see if you get that challenge to success ratio right for that student at the next mastery test. This is a little chart which is motivating to students and to parents. Each week when the new total of flashcards is added up, it can be added to the week before, and then there is an ongoing tally of the total number of mastered flashcards. It's quite motivating to see, for the students to see their progress. At the time of the mastery test, it's also an opportunity to top up the store pocket. Now, one way you can keep this organised is to use the teacher's file, which contains heavy-duty flashcard organiser sheets. So you can, if you wish, label these with students' names, and as you're doing your marking or assessments, you can put content under each student's name as they need it, and then when it comes to mastery test time, it's all there organised. It can be pulled out and put into the store pocket. That's just one optional way of helping to organise the flashcard content. The mastery test is quite flexible. If there's students who are not there on the mastery test day, then it's fine for them to just be tested at the next mastery test day. Or if there's a school event on the day that you normally test, then just leave that test for that week and do it the next week instead. The reason for the flexibility is that those flashcards will just sit in the test pocket for a little longer. So all that's happening is that those test cards are going to have a higher standard of mastery if they're correct when you next go to test them. They would have been sitting there for a little longer without being revised. In terms of record keeping, there is some good news. Basically, the flashcards don't leave the process until they are mastered. So this has some good consequences. So rather than ticking off every flashcard as it comes out of the process, you can record each new content bundle as it enters the store pocket. So this is an example of a recording sheet for the Mental Maths Computation Continuum, which are mental maths strategies found in the Flashcard Club. So what you could do is you could tick when that bundle goes in, and then a week or two later, this bundle might go in. You can tick that that went in week 4, etc. Because this content is not going to pass out of the folder until it's been mastered. So that is a big time saver.